What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Castle Story. I think this is going to be a pretty fun day. You guys are actually going to see, like, the full force of the game, I think, in this episode. It's going to get a little rowdy and wild, but I think it's going to be okay. I think we're going to make it out the back end of this. We got our first night made, which is great. We've also made it through a couple of days, too, if you were trying to be especially punny about it. However, our iron supply is looking like it is running a tiny bit low, which means we are going to have to send our people to further away climbs in order to get this stuff. I'm just kidding. It's not a climb. It's a walk. So we will go over here, and I'm going to get them started on this iron field over here, too, because I don't want to get behind the iron curve. Like, yes, that's a little bit of a walk, but it is what it is, my friends. The other thing that we want to set up during this relative time of peace is that we want to build ourselves a stone quarry. And where we want to put that quarry is really up to you. We can put the quarry wherever, although I'm thinking the most obvious spot to put it's going to be over here. And so we'll expand that out a little bit. And this is going to be where we get the majority of our stone from, right here. You will occasionally get little brimstone veins and iron veins and stuff like that. I do think the amount needs to be increased ever so slightly. Not by a lot, but by a little bit maybe. It looks like we've got enough ropes, and it looks like we've got enough fabric to last us a little while. So I'm going to turn off rope production for right now. So rope production is now officially off. I'm going to continue to allow them to make fabric for a little while, just in case. We've also got an errant. I got to put a cleanup task over here because we've lost an ingot on that side. And losing an ingot is not something that I really want to do. And so we'll set that up. And if you've got any items laying around your map or any chunks of stone or whatever, if there's a cleanup job, they'll come over here and they'll pick up any lost items, and then they'll stockpile them or take them to the nearest crafting job that needs to get done. Once we've got about, I would say, 20 iron ingots saved up, that's when I'll start worry about making glass. But for now, he's getting started right there. Fantastic. As he digs the dirt, we're going to have a glut of stone from now on, in case you were wondering. We're going to have a lot of stone. So the first thing that I would do is I would go down to structures, and I would just build a little door, like right... Oh, I don't know. We'll put the door right there so that when our little guys spawn, they can actually get out of the base. And then we'll start building our castle around our crystal. And so here we go. This should be pretty awesome. I think that should be alright. I don't really care if it's super symmetrical. That's not something that really matters to me. So we've got 2 on each side. Okay, I do care if it's symmetrical. I lied. I lied so hard. Ah, shit. I think I'm going to have to go one more this way. Yeah, let's go like that. We'll drag that on over. That looks like it's given us a pretty good berth for our base. And then we'll finally just finish that off right there. Perfect. And that's exactly what I wanted to have. It bugs me that the door isn't completely and totally centered, but, like, what are you going to do about it, you know? What are you going to do about it? As we start to get stone put away, my suggestion would be, what is up with that stone right there? That weird little overhang we got going on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the second layer. I'm just going to give them lots of stuff to work on for the future. There we go. Perfect. And then we're also going to need some stairs so that they can get up onto the top layer and make this happen, Captain. But we'll worry about that once the first layer's in. So there it is. The job is done. We are sitting on a number of ingots right now, which leads me to believe we should queue up 2 more night kits. Perfect. We've got 2 minutes, so we should be able to have 1 more night before this needs to get done. There are also little magical defenses and wards and things you can put around your base. Stuff like sentinel wards can be really nice for keeping your base safe and dealing a ton of damage. And in fact, that's what we're going to be prioritizing once we get our little tower built. But up until we get the tower built, we're kind of stuck with what we have going on right now. I'm not really going to focus too much on beautification, just because it's easy in this game to get caught up building too much stuff. It's very easy to get caught up in this game building too much stuff. Our main weak point right now is going to be being attacked from the north. If we get attacked from the north, I think we've got a fairly serious problem, just because our stockpile is going to act as cover for the enemy as they try to run up on the crystal, and all of our archers are going to be on top of the castle firing at them. But I'll take one side out of a potential, like, 8 sides that we can be hit from. We can be hit from a lot of different angles, and so, in all honesty, I'll take one weak side compared to 7 strong sides. I mean, it is, you got to do what you got to do. And so as you can see, they're starting to put the bricks in right here and make things look a little bit nicer. My hope is that I've left enough room so that when we spawn a Bricktron, it'll be all right. I think they always spawn on this side over here, so they should be able to get around and come out the door perfectly fine without many problems. But the wall is going up. It looks satisfactory to me. It looks like our knight is done, so we should have 2 knights going into the next fight. That'll be helpful. Having somebody to tank for a little while everyone else fires arrows errantly at the enemy, I think is... Oh, wow, we've got way too much fabric. Let's go ahead and shut down fabric production for a minute. There we go. I'll let these workers do something else for the next little piece. We've got enough... We have more than enough iron ingots going around to where I don't think we're going to have to worry about too much going into the future. Door's done right there, so that's great. That's something that I'm really happy to see. Did I build that properly right there? I don't know that I did. It looks like I went to the inside with that right there. Yeah, I think I did. Alright, hold on. I can even this out. It's no biggie. There we go. I think that was how I did it on the other side. I was just looking at it for a second. I was like, wait a minute. Splat messed up. It's not the first time it's ever happened on the internet. Probably won't be the last time it's ever happened on the internet either. But hey, you know, sometimes you mess up. There goes another shield right there. And we've got 30 seconds until our next invasion. Alright, sorry about that. A little bit of a recording error right there. So we fended off the last attack. Went perfectly fine. There was nothing really of note there. I'm expanding the walls out on this side to be twice as thick as they currently are. And so they're working on that right now. And we've got ourselves another little buddy named Kakashi. So Kakashi, come join the crew. And that's why I made the extra helmet right there. From here on in, we're going to want to start thinking about, once I get this up and tall enough, what we're going to want to start thinking about is the availability of turrets and things of that nature. It looks like they're laying down the outer row first, which is great if you wanted to see what I'm working on right here. There it is. We're just making that double thick right there. I might make it triple thick. I haven't decided just yet. They do have to break through each concurrent layer, and so, you know, the thicker it is, the better. The more resistance you have to the enemy, the more thickness you have. And so there's our 4th helmet right there. We officially have 4 knights and 4 archers, which means when we call to arms, we should be in really good shape for all this stuff. They're going to take all those ingots back. That leaves us at what looks like 16 ingots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert production over here into glass ingots for a little while. Glass ingots basically use the exact same thing that iron ingots use, just iron and brimstone, and you get glass out. They will, however, clear out the furnaces so that they can do that from scratch. So bear that in mind. Our quarry is coming across okay over here. I mean, as it gets down deeper into the earth, it'll give us better stone yields, and we'll start getting minerals and stuff like that out of there. How is iron mining going? Is that still moving along? Oh, wow, that's actually moving along really well. I'm surprised how much iron they've managed to drag back. Good, fantastic, good for them. We'll probably hit that brimstone supply over there pretty soon, either that or that one. Once we get rid of all the near resources, though, we're going to be basically at the mercy of our quarry for whatever we can drag in bits and pieces. Quarries are not great for gathering brimstone and iron, though. I made that mistake when I first started playing, thinking that, like, hey, maybe this will work out. It's not going to work out. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to have enough brimstone to get by just going with a quarry. I think that's largely relegated to the fact that you can only have 4 people working in a quarry. If you could have 8 of your Bricktrons, your little cheddar boys working inside of the quarry, I think you'd be better off. I think that number needs to be adjusted up slightly, because it doesn't matter the size of the quarry. Only 4 people can work inside of it. I think if they could move that up to 6 or 8, you could be much more efficient about resources and stuff like that. But then again, developers do what developers does. You never quite know what's going to happen. Our second wall is going in right there. I'm hoping that by the next wave, we'll have this thing built up nice and sexy, and it'll be looking good. And then once we get above the first 3 levels, too, the nice part is we can just turn the bricks sideways, and that'll make it a little bit faster instead of doing them long ways, too. That'll allow us to really glean some height out of this thing as fast as possible. Get rid of that cleaning zone so we've got less things floating around on screen. Not super interested in looking at that. We can get rid of that plant cutting zone as well, because I don't think that's going to be important. We have more than enough fabric to get by, more than enough ropes to get by. Glass ingots are starting to accumulate. It looks like it took them almost the entire building period to get that done, which upsets me slightly, but I guess it can't be helped. I need more people to work in the quarry, too. We're not bringing down stone the way that I was hoping we'd be bringing down stone. They finished off all those rocks over there, so we'll clear out that zone. Are there any more rocks nearby? It doesn't look like there's any further rocks nearby, but that's okay. They're almost done with the second layer. And the only thing that I would really add to this side on the second layer of the castle is we now need like a stairwell to help people get up here. My suggestion would be to make stairwells double wide. Otherwise, your little Brictrons can have a lot of trouble getting past each other and like making this work. The castle is going to be pretty tall, so I don't have a problem building this up to like the sky for right now. There we go. Build to the sky. We've got 20 seconds left until we are going to have some serious opponents. At least I assume they're serious. So we're going to have some serious enemies riding up on us. But yeah, make your stairs double wide. So if you don't make them double wide, they get stuck on each other all the time. They do. They get stuck in the hallways all the time when they're trying to build stuff if you only have a single wide staircase. So I've learned that lesson, and I've internalized that lesson. And you see what I mean right there? If that was single wide right there, they would have just got stuck and started doing dumb shit and just being like, and not knowing exactly what to do. Stairwell's coming across pretty nicely. I think this base is going to be dope. Let's go ahead and we will call to arms very rapidly. I don't know if they're going to take those back to the stockpile. We're probably going to have to do a cleanup zone. Is what it is, I suppose. Ranged units. Give me my ranged units. And you guys all out here. Ranged units to the walls. It looks like the enemy is coming from that way. So you guys get up on the walls and do your thing. Knights on this side. They're probably going to throw some rocks and some shit like that. I don't really care. It's all good. And then our knights will fight them back. It looks like the armor does not replenish from your knight outfits, though, which is kind of an interesting problem to have. Not sure how I feel about that. Maybe I have to repair them, or maybe there's some kind of workbench that fixes the blue meter. I don't know. Maybe they haven't been hit yet. Maybe that's why. This little guy over here has got to go, too. I'm thinking our defenses are looking pretty good. I may put a door at the top of this that they have to walk through so that the enemy tries to rush the stairwell. It becomes less of a tactical problem. But yeah, they did rush the stairs right there, which was a little bit unexpected. As you guys unload your gear, I'm going to need a cleanup spot right here. Clean up on aisle 3 or aisle 4 or whatever aisle we're calling this right now. I have one archer left who has not dropped off his stuff. Well, you should definitely drop off your stuff, amigo. Get back over here and get to work. Get back over here and get to work. Work to live, live to work. You know the motto at the Nerd Castle. That's what we do. We hustler. We hustler. I find that saying hustler instead of hustle, it sounds fancier, right? Hustler sounds like somebody that'd be rolling up on your mountains, messing with the eastern end of your Roman Empire. You're like, goddamn hustler, coming after our provincial areas. Don't mess with hustler. He's a hustler, baby. He just wants you to know. It ain't where he been, it's where he's about to go. It's Constantinople, in case you didn't know. We've got, is that stairwell done right there? Is that thing pretty much finished off? Yeah, buddy, stairwell's done, which means we can get back to just bricking this thing on up. I will probably turn them sideways now to save materials, because they're only going to be attacking the bottom layer anyways. So why stress too heavily about it? There we go. And frankly, I'll queue up like everything now, because why not? I still haven't exactly figured out how to get something to go over the top of a door. I think you've got to use an arch or something like that. I'm not really super sure. I've been having trouble with it. Like, I think I could put that in right there. And that in right there. And it'll put like a little archway around the door that'll look a bit nicer. And this is going to be like a long-term project, so I don't really care how long they work on it. This is going to be one of those things that just gets worked on in perpetuity as we make this taller and taller. I think like I'll probably take the stairwell up and have it rotate around here. I don't know if that'll work, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I can get it to work. Can I stack a block on the end of that? No, I can't. Okay, that's cool. I'm just letting them build up materials for right now so that they don't feel bad about not getting their work done. Perfecto. Good stuff. Looking good. And so our castle is moving along. Castle is moving along. We don't have nearly enough bricks to get this job done, and frankly, the whole thing's going to hit a stopgap anyways because the AI is dumb. Once you start building off of the ground, the AI starts to get real kind of finicky and sketchy and like, what should I do? I'm so confused. But they'll start putting it together. It's about the best you can ask for. Other little tasks that we could put in. There are other workbenches we could have right now. The one that I would recommend you get ASAP is going to be an altar, because building yourself a whole bunch of sentinel turrets is pretty good. Machine shops are solid too. They let you make arbalests, which can be helpful for knocking down enemies that are a little bit more robust. Laboratories allow you to make grenadiers, and they allow you to make explosive traps and stuff like that. I'm going to do an altar for right now, though. So I don't like that placement. We will sit our altar down right there. And with our altar, that'll allow us to start building ourselves some defenses in the near future, which I think will be really, really awesome. Something that I'm excited about anyways, and something that I think is going to be a lot of fun. The turrets are going to add a lot of DPS to your colony. No lie. Turrets will even things out with a quickness. What are you doing over here? It looks like we're crafting like the magical toilet bowl. This is our deuce spot where the cheddar boys drop their cheese. So, hey man, sometimes you gotta unload that Velveeta. It is what it is. So we've stacked up about 12, 15 glass ingots. I will more than likely, after the next harvest, cancel that out right there and just get rid of it. Hey, our altar's done. Good. Fantastic. Once this gets a little bit taller, what we're going to do is we're just going to positively make this thing bristling with turrets so that anything that comes near us just catches Brucka on like a whole new level. We just want it to be like, pachoo, 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 dropping lasers on anybody that comes by. That's right. We're going to unleash the pachoo. That's the kind of language I don't normally use on this channel. But pachoo is what's going to happen. It's going to be ugly. Everybody going to die. Looks like they're making okay progress. I wish they'd stack a little faster, though. Building in this game there's no way to speed the game up or anything like that, and even if you did, it would just make the waves come at you faster. Don't click this button right here. There's no warning or anything like that. This skips the current wave and makes you get hit by like a double wave. It's no fun. Don't do that. Oh, we are going to need some brimstone. How's that iron mining place going over here? It's done. Good. Fantastic. After this harvest, I said I was going to turn these off. So that's what I'm going to do now. We'll go ahead and stop that work because I don't think we're going to need glass. And I don't think we're going to need iron for a bit. I think we're solid on that front. Other things we may consider doing is that we don't want this to be too tall either. If we build this too tall, what's going to end up happening is that unfortunately the turrets are not going to... The turrets draw their energy from the crystal. And so the turrets have to be within like a certain radius of the crystal. So for example, I couldn't build a massive castle wall and then line it with sentinel turrets. You just can't do that. Wish that you could. That'd be super rad, but you can't do that. And so the nature of the way that turrets work in this game can sort of limit the amount of stuff you can get done. We are running a little bit low on brimstone. Although it looks like we hit a brimstone vein right there, so we might be all right. Just kind of depends on the rate at which they decide to brimstone it on up. We got 80 right there. We got 16 right there. Well, hopefully they get down to that layer and they bring back some brimstone pretty soon because we are absolutely going to need it. I like that production company on TV shows that has that weird trucker guy at the end who's like, absolutely. I don't know. It makes me happy for some reason. Every time that shit plays, I get psyched. I'm like, oh, that makes me happy. Which is really the essence of being happy. Something happens and then you're like, oh, I'm happy. You guys stop what you're doing, I guess. This is the downside to all these major construction projects, is that people are carrying bricks and things of that nature when they run back to arm themselves. You guys get up on the walls as soon as possible. There you go. You guys line up in front of the walls, and you, how come you did not arm yours? This guy's trying to dodge. This dude's trying to dodge the draft. Man, that is not going to look good in your presidential bid someday. That's all I'm going to say about that. People are going to bring it up. Oh, here they come. They're coming from that side right there. So what we really want is we want our soldiers. That guy get hit with a bunch of rocks. They hit that dude all day with rocks. This guy can't aim, so we'll move him up so that he can do proper man DPS. Yeah, move yourself up right here. You scooch to there. You scooch to there. How's the fight going down here? Is it going well? Doesn't look like anybody's too hurt. They're going to start bringing in giants pretty soon, though, which is bad. Once they start bringing in giants, that's when you really want to start having turrets and stuff like that. Because they start bringing in those, like, gigantor-ass badasses. You back up so that you don't get killed. Let somebody else tank for a minute. There we go. Perfect. Drop your gear back off, and let's get back to jolly good work. Jolly, jolly, jolly good work. Jolly good work. Jolly, jolly good work. There we go. So I will drop a cleanup spot, like right here, so they'll clean up all the rocks and bullshit that they just haphazardly threw on the ground for some reason. Yeah, Mr. almost didn't make it. Oh, we've got Hal. Hooray, we've got a new little guy, which means that we need to craft new gear. So I am going to make for myself another archer, because archers deal the most damage. Like, yes, it's nice to have knights, but archers are where the DPS is at. That's where they're your damage dealers. You gotta have them. I'll delete that right there. Oh my god, they have so many layers of labor left. They have so much left to build. It's a little upsetting. I don't know how I feel about this. I wish that they didn't have so much left to build. I wish that they had not a left to build, but that's not my call. It's not my call. They build so weird, too. Like, why do they pick some of the stuff? Like, they just drop bricks randomly sometimes. You're like, why are you doing that? I messed up the pattern, too. I'm sure that's going to bother people with OCD, but... well, it is what it is. I think that there's wabi-sabi in our little castle. I think that it's the flaws that truly make this thing beautiful. And so if you can't support that, then maybe we can't be castle friends anymore. Maybe we can't be castle friends anymore. You guys are dropping that off right there, looking good. Did we get our next archery thing done? Oh, good, it's almost finished. Fantastic. The joys of actually finishing a thing. Yay for us. And there goes. Why did you bring so much fabric over? Do you seriously need 3 fabric for the hat? That's so much more expensive than I thought it was. What does that cost? It costs 1 fabric. Why did he bring 3 over? And that just means he's got to... That just means there's 2 fabric in here that he's got to take back to the stockpile. See what I mean? This game is riddled with weird little... As you watch the way the game functions, I promise you, this game is full of just all kinds of weird little inefficiencies in the way that your workers work. Where you're just like, why would you bring over like 8 fabric if you only needed 1? Like, why wouldn't you just bring over the 1 and save yourself a trip back to the stockpile? And I've just stopped asking those questions. Just be aware your AI is going to do incredibly dumb shit frequently in this game. They're going to get stuck on each other. They're going to, like, queue up for the same job, and one's going to get there first, and so the other one's going to waste his time walking over there, then waste his time walking back, then waste his time walking back. It happens all the time. Watching this game and watching your little Bricktrons can actually be pretty infuriating. If you haven't been watching them and the way that they, like, interact with the world, like, just don't watch them. Just assume that they're all doing what they're supposed to do, like it's RimWorld, and then it'll be okay. Just don't think about it. Just don't think about it. And it'll be all right. Actually, I think this game would be really fantastic if it weren't for the AI. Like, I think that is the only thing they need to fix. I think the game is fun. I think the game is replayable. I think the game is enjoyable. They just need to fix the AI. Like, the AI, they need to come up with a system where it queues up jobs, and if a job has already been assigned to a worker looking for a new job jumps over them and goes to the next one down, and they don't do that right now. They can queue up for the same job and see, like, they both queued up to pick up that same stone right there, which is why he said he couldn't find what he needed. It's just, it's one of those things that, it's one of those little things that you don't actually think matters until you start messing around with it. There are nice little features too, like if they get stuck on a 1x1 and they can't get to their destination, but another guy can, they will pass the thing in their hands to him and he will take the job over. Like, there are cool little workarounds there, but in a lot of cases, I mean, there wouldn't need to be a workaround if the things worked in the first place. My name is Splattercat. This is Castle Story. I will see you all next time. Thank you for stopping on in. I'm probably going to do another episode. I like this game a bit. I mean, it definitely has its flaws, but I enjoy playing it. It's a game that I love the graphics of the game. Like, you want to like this game because it's so pretty and it looks so nice. And yet, it's just got little technical issues riddled here and there, but I'm having a good time. Are you having a good time? Let me know. If you want to, stop by twitch.tv/SplatterCatGaming. I stream every day at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Other than that, you can get the game down below in the description and support the developers if that's something that you want to do. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.